Not there. Somebody's got to.
It was showing.
So.
No, oh,
I
you are,
don't.
you are recording the cloud, so it's good, because I do that automatically.
Yeah.
Perfect, when I said that, yeah, it's perfect. But before I had done that, it shut it down.
Once you use the
That's great.
each other going on.
Yeah. Oh, Amanda was-
Hi,
Miranda. Are you, now, are you still recording to the cloud?
Yes.
Yes.
I put something down that you gotta put the metal roof up on the.
You said yes,
Yeah,
you
you
want to
wired
stop,
my
and I
vehicle
thought you
up?
said yes.
No.
No, you did not, so, good, I wasn't sure, so I'll stop looking over your shoulder now.
That's okay. No, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Well, I won't, that would help.
Good evening, Randall.
Machine, he works all day and then.
Hello, hello.
One of those guys. Like Alice.
We'll be starting here shortly.
Old time, yeah.
He's up in the raptor time, man.
72 years old.
One of the things that he liked, it, he would get bounced off, and then he'll be back on within 5 minutes.
Okay.
Because when we do, yeah.
Randall?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. We will be having a presentation on our website this evening, so if you get bumped off, it'll be a short time frame, okay? We're
Cool,
not sure
thanks.
how it's gonna work.
All right, thanks for the heads up.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I usually do. That's the third piece. All right, you convinced me.
Oh, Frank, you like the bad kid. You like the bad kid sometimes.
You wanna borrow mine?
You have a pen.
You'd never see them. Somebody paid my. Notes on the top and they blink on and off.
Oh, gee.
I thought maybe I'd be taken more seriously than I was. Okay, the December 12th.
Oh, you did that.
Meeting of the town of Morristown is called to order. Let's start with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board members should have in the packet, the minutes from the previous meetings, in our last regular meeting. Including that regular meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review them?
I've reviewed them, and I'm very comfortable with them, so I would make a motion for approval, and if somebody else has a comment or change.
I'll second.
We've had a motion, it's been seconded. So roll call please.
Gary,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Sean,
Aye.
Chris,
I,
and Frank.
Aye. We have no correspondence this evening, so we'll move right into. We'll move right into public comment. So. Mr. Lightfoot, if you'd like to address us,
I will. Brief.
and I'll pass everybody a little team.
And Sean's, if you know, there bids, solicited for the, renovation at the emergency services building, which is, it all came about because of the need to expand the 911 center and, the area for the dispatchers. And being that it's been a number of years since that building was put into use and it needed pretty good going over with the renovations. And we anticipated something in the neighborhood of $6 or $7 million. And I'm pretty sure that that's what the bids will be when they are approved by the board at the finance committee meeting, which is this upcoming Monday. So most of that is being paid with ARPA money and contingency. So there won't be an effect on the tax rate or anything like that. All of the bidders, the low bidders, are from St. Lawrence County, which was a plus, which we were hoping to. And we did. That's the general contractor, electrical, plumbing, mechanical, the whole 9 yards. And so we hope that they do a good job for us, and things will get started just as quick as the board passes on it at a special board meeting on Monday. We did get some good news from, speaking of ARP money, we received a little over $922,000 from the state and federal government to offset unanticipated expenses in 2022 and this year. And that's what they amounted to. $363,000 for 22 and $559,000 for 2022. So that was good. Our meeting here at the last finance meeting, we had to pony up another $200,000 to indigent defense. That's in addition to what they've already gone through. And simply because more people are getting arrested for more serious things, and they're taking advantage of the system and the non-cost that they have for an attorney, and that we have to provide. So I don't know if you've got the mortgage tax report that what is due to Morristown. I think we have it. Okay. There's a plan in place to bring on a new or another family court judge in 2025. So there'll be an election in 2024 for that position. So now we've got the work, where do we put them? And how do we accommodate that? And what are we gonna have to do to, but we don't wanna run into the same problem that Watertown had, if you remember, when the state administrative judge for that area wanted them to spend a couple $1 million, and they were able to avoid that. Nice. And at our finance committee meeting last, we passed an override for the tax cap for the 2024 budget, simply because of the insured nature of sales tax and the property taxes that aren't being paid, and that we have to make everybody whole. So that was the reason for that. It passed unanimously. And the last thing I bring out was the budget. I don't know if I gave you that number last time, but our budget is $296.5 million over 2024, something like 22 million. No corresponding tax increase. In fact, it was a decrease. It brought it down under $7. Under 7 or 8. Pretty sure it was done. That's it. Much more.
That was good. I was plugged it in.
Well, the question is,
Joe, on this latest accident now, which is anything St. Lawrence County can do to make those buggies.
Well, I will tell you what we've done. Is, and this goes back 3 years ago. When, similar occurrences happened and we were asked, is there nothing you can do? And then we found out that there's actually nothing we can do. We can't force them to do anything with their advances that would improve safety, the pyramid, any additional tape on those buggies. We even came up with the thought of, on the hubs of their wheels, if they put at opposite sides, 90 degrees apart, so that when that's turning, it gives you a sense of motion. And that's what's lacking with these buggies.
Yeah.
Is there, they don't move, I don't see them move. And I mean, I don't know what happened with this thing at 7 o'clock in the morning, but it's just getting.
Yeah,
It's not a great time, and so, I mean, I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. And whether or not anything could have been done to prevent it. But I will tell you that coming back from our Monday night meetings, and last night it was after 10 o'clock, invariably, I meet or overtake an Amish buggy on the road. And it scares the hell out of me every time it happens, because you don't see them until the last minute. Now, some of them do have an abundance of tape on the back of their wagons, and it does make a difference. But that little red light on the back that shows through the front does not show for any distance. And you're on them before you know it. So I've got to sympathize with these people that if nothing is attributable to them being their fault, it's a hell of a situation. And nobody wants that to happen, but we actually sat down with the fellow bishops and over in Hewlett, the fire department, on 2 or 3 occasions. We actually went out with them, loaded them in the back of a police car, the sheriff's, and we followed a buggy at night so that they could see what it looks like coming up upon them. And oh yeah, they can agree that, but you Anglos got to be more careful and slow down, and oh, okay, you got a point.
That's God's will.
Okay, but you can't blame, I don't think, I wouldn't blame everybody running into these people as being the cause of the accident. There's certainly some responsibility on the part of those folks. And blaming it on their religious beliefs, I don't go along with it, but I don't have any more say than anybody else. So we thought we had something with the parents of those girls that were kidnapped. I know that he was very sympathetic and sort of led the charge for the county to get these bishops on board with doing more than what they're doing, asking these people to do it. And what was thrown back at us was that even as they're, bishops, we don't have any authority to tell them what to do or make them do anything. So you'll see some people that do, they have a considerable amount of tape on the back of their buggies. Some of them don't have, and herein lies the problem. So much like the zoning here a few years ago.
The state can't mandate it.
That's what they tell me, that's what they tell us.
How do
Very
other
good
counties
issue myself.
Different sects, yeah.
Well, you got a different sect up in that Plum Brook area.
Yeah, they got lights, they got everything.
Yeah, they do. They do. They've got plexiglass in front.
By the hand, one would buy you like more.
Oh, they're all night long.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll tell you, very rarely does a Monday night go by that I do not see between 10 and 11. And probably these are young men, coming back from milking and, their jobs at that time. I can't imagine. They're not going to a pizza parlor, I know that. But,
It just doesn't make sense that you can't ride a bicycle at nighttime, but you can jump in a horse and a buggy and ride down. And
well, I think you're right about it.
I would hope that,
You're supposed to have, oh, yeah.
if you have a light on it,
I would hope the county doesn't drop it. I hope they keep pursuing this with the Amish. And trying to get them to concede to doing some of these things that would save us. Because the average person don't need that on their conscience for the rest of their life.
Couldn't agree with you more.
Thank you, Joe.
That's why I had slightly a guy texted me last night, going, I can't St. Lawrence County do something about this.
Yeah. So it isn't like it hasn't been tried.
Yeah. That's what I
And
thought.
I will tell you that it was over a 2-year period that we met with these people, that we actually went out at night with them with buggies, showing them, that these things are almost invisible at night. And, as I said, the responsibility, you folks gotta slow down a little bit, and that, well, maybe we do, but maybe you need to do something. There's gotta be some way to do that. So I'm sure that this, latest incident, accident, fatality, will, provide, some additional impetus to, and resurrect this and, keep this change of heart on your part.
the sad part about it is it's not only a hazard to them and a detriment to the people that hit them, but it's a hazard to the people, to you and I that are driving, because like you say, you take an evasive action when you see these things.
Yeah.
And either you try to go around them or you're going to the ditch if something's happening, and it's like, why legally should they be able to put me and my family into that kind of a hazardous situation? It just does not make sense to me.
Well, the only hammer that you have is locking people up. And that ain't gonna work with these folks. You can lock them up all day, keep them in there, if you could. You're not going to change what they do, and the next time around, they'll be right out there doing the same thing.
Some of the same issues I have as a building official, so.
Well, we even, thought, let's encourage the sheriff and the state police to do some enforcement action. And that doesn't work yet. They pay a fine.
Nothing more on that subject, if not, we will move on, and the thing that is going to get presentation of the new improved website.
Hey, Randall, we may lose you.
That's true, we've all looked at it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so a few months ago, Frank approached me to just see if we couldn't just update the website, and I took a good look at it, and I've been kind of at it since, working with Jill. So the goals were to improve the look of it, the operation, so that it would be easier to use, so that people should be able to go on and find things easily, and to improve the transparency, so that what happens here in the meetings and it becomes visible and available to people. So that's the goal, is transparency and ease of use. And so to that end, we gave it a new look. So it's green now. That's changed the color, and we added pictures so that immediately you get the sense that there are 3 main units here: Hamlets, Edwardsville, Briar Hill, and the town of Morristown. And right on the first page, you see that we have quite a few links. So you can, right away, if you need to contact somebody, if you want to see the board minutes, if you want to know something that's new, we have meeting recordings, and I'll come back to that later. And if you'd like to scroll down just a little bit, Jill. Announcements, anything new that's coming up. There's more news and announcements. We've got bid notices there, plans and backgrounders. And if are you looking for the Hamlet laws, maybe dog control? Are you looking for building codes and ordinances? So there are lots of ways to find information on the site. You can go back up and we'll follow then along the main menu. That's our homepage. And then click there. That's great. Announcements. Here's the meeting announcements like for tonight. And then as soon as I get the agenda, then we post the agenda there. And so, for example, it looks like that. So it's available to people. If they want to download it, they can post it, they can share it, that kind of thing.
I lost it.
Okay. Then going further to the right, we have departments. And here we have all the departments, starting with, the general contact, which is an overview and a list of everyone. And you can see if you would go to building codes or code enforcement office, you can see there's Greg. Nice picture. And all of the ordinances are there. So it might be, that's why there was a link on the homepage, because it might seem buried and I didn't want it to feel buried.
I don't think we have our municipal code up there yet, though, do we?
If
Our
there's
zoning
something,
code?
if there's something that's not there, mention it to Jill. She'll make sure that I have that file and I'll add it. Okay? So if there's anything missing like that, and we want to make sure that it gets put there.
You have pictures of Black Lake on
Didn't you see
We
that?
do it scrolling through, right,
See
in
that?
the front. Uh-huh.
We can go back.
We'll go back.
To home.
No, yeah, you can go back home.
There's the church, Edwardsville.
Should I say Edwardsville Black Lake?
Right.
I can do that. Yeah, okay, great, that'll be there tomorrow. We'll add just
Some pictures of the lake, like those, aerial views.
I have those. Yeah, we can add more. Okay, and then let's go back then to departments. And then I want you to see town clerk. And so that's how they'll look. And it gives, these are the things in it, a little description of the role, what you can find there, and how to reach Jill. All right, we'll continue over. That's departments. And then here's under government. This is what we do here, what the board does. So here you have the agendas and like you can click on that. And 2023. And again, there's the board meeting for tonight. Okay, so it's under agendas. Go back to just go back to government.
I don't dare go anywhere.
There you go. And board minutes are there. And with a notice now that says, once they're approved, then within that week, the minutes go up so that people aren't surprised. They're not saying, well, where are the minutes? We don't do it until it's approved. So it does seem to take a while. And then recordings, and go to the bottom one. So the meetings are now recorded and it goes over to YouTube, our YouTube channel. So you can see it's hidden under the YouTube TV claim offer. There, the M stands for the town of Morristown, so that's our YouTube channel.
That's the other thing that's good about that is the fact that because the minutes aren't up, they can always go there and you can listen to it.
Right, you can listen to it, and so as soon as, not, within 2 days or so, I'll have the link made. And it's only really available to people who have the link. So people who come from the website or are emailed the link will be able to listen to it. You can stop that.
So if I was home and missed a meeting
Yes,
and I didn't listen in, I would not be able to go and find it?
yes, you will be able.
Okay,
That's right. You can go right to our website. You'll know the date of the meeting. It'll be there. You can see it.
excellent.
Yep. Yep, and so there's only a few now because we can't go back in time. The town has all of those meetings. So if somebody wants to know an earlier date, like a July meeting, you can go and Jill has those. But I can't take them from her computer and upload. So now we're recording in the cloud so that I can take it and put it on our YouTube channel, and then you have a link from the site. Okay? Can I click on this? Sure. And that's budgets and assessments. So what's the latest one? 2008. Yeah.
I can see.
Okay, and then go to community and just click there. This is our community page. This describes the town of the sort of, remember the front page used to have a lot of verbiage about the town of Morristown. It's now here under the community. And if you scroll down, there are the nonprofit organizations associated with Briar Lake or Black Lake, Briar Hill, and the hamlet of Morristown. And so all of that is, those are links to their website. So would you just click on, I don't know, the Black Lake, any of them? Yeah. Oh,
Of course.
go back. Of course, that's one. I don't know what happened. We had
Oh,
it,
shoot.
we had it earlier.
Yeah, we did.
How about, there we go. That's their website. So these are links to their websites. And if you ever see that, like a, 404, or there's an error on the website, please just tell Jill and I'll fix it. As soon as I know, I can fix it. Okay? And the links sometimes break. They just do. They have their own life. I don't know. And then our summer recreation program is really not. As soon as they have their meetings in February, they'll know which programs they're offering. And we didn't want to have old information, old forms on the site any longer. So then we'll start to add in so that information tells people that. And that's basically it. It should seem very simple, very straightforward. Oh yeah, I know where things are. It should seem like it's not a big deal.
The goal was to be user friendly
Mhm.
and inclusive, and I think I can do the job that is pulled together.
Thanks.
Easier to maneuver.
Good. Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah, thank you. It's been fun.
Because I told her we need to dumb it down, but we decided user friendly was more politically.
Are you there, Randall?
Yes,
Good.
thank you.
And any questions, you can direct them to Jill, or you can direct them to me, DeborahPinker@gmail.com.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I appreciate the work you've done on this. Sure.
I appreciate doing that.
You want to drag us in second century one way or another.
Yeah.
Good job.
We look more up to date now.
Yeah.
Yes.
George will have Phyllis take care of these.
Yeah, hold it, Phyllis, because she'll teach me my way around. I know marketplace and that's it.
All right, with that, we thank you. We'll move into old business.
But if I could, I would touch base on financial report. Is that?
That's what we got in the
Then from the gun side.
that's number one on old business.
Yeah. You all the board members have a copy of the, excuse me, the financial statement as of the end of November. And wherever there are negative numbers, they show up in parentheses. That's, when I say negative, that's essentially the way that over budget expenditures show, where the variance has parentheses around it. And this is pretty routine. It's not uncommon from one year to the next. If you were talking about the office operations in where Carol Woodcock and Judy Wright work, for them to have unspent $2,000 for office equipment and overspent $2,000 on contractual. And so there'd be a transfer from one budget amount to the other budget amount. And this is really typical housekeeping at the end of the year. And most of the time they represent where there really is an increase above and beyond the budgeted amounts. It really does represent things that the board decided to do in discussion in a meeting. But we haven't adjusted the budget to reflect the decisions that we made. So this is in the process of doing it. And generally, we're able to do that by having projected fairly high on expenses and low on revenue at the beginning of the year. And then as the year progresses, we have some areas where we have surplus budget in some categories, and we can move that to the ones where we went over. But
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
for instance, on 1220.4 supervisors contractual. Then you look at that, there, you know, a lot of the, that was put here was, when they didn't know where else to put it, that's on page 1 of 3, they put it there.
And that particular category is substantially over budget. And in particular, that includes the disbursements that we did for the Black Lake sewer study, for which we show revenue. We have offsetting revenue, but we ended up going over budget on expense. Plus the other engineering expenses that we've had during the year. And I wouldn't be surprised if we find that some of the town barn expenses got chalked up to that category. And for instance, we made a budget projection for insurance expense last fall before we received the bill for this year. And it ended up being maybe $800, $900 higher than we projected. It costs about $46,000 a year for the town for insurance. So in a percentage basis, it wasn't a big variation, but we have to adjust the budget to reflect the higher bill. Now, the other things that are still going to lie out here, we have a list of budget modifications that'll come up under new business. That'll take care of a lot of this stuff where you can just shift and cover, shift and cover. But other things that we will not resolve tonight. I've mentioned to you that our projection on sales tax income was exceeded by $120,000. So we have higher revenue than we anticipated on that category. That the state CHIPS payment has not yet come in. It typically comes in December. And so we're still showing some over budget on some highway work, some permanent improvements for the highway department. That'll be covered when the CHIPS money comes in, because we're anticipating that that also will come in higher than budgeted. A lot of the fire expenses for the town barn were posted to garage contractual. That's 5132.4. And that's over by about $900,000. But on the revenue side, under insurance recoveries, it's over by just about $1.3 million. Now, we probably are going to spend all of that $1.3 million and more. But at this point, we still have received more money than we've spent, than we've dispersed on the garage. So moving from our general town expenses and our highway expenses to the special districts, all 3 of the sewer districts have a little higher revenue than projected. And so all 3 of the sewer districts are in good shape as of the end of the year. The water district, even with that
expensive pump that we had to purchase at this point is short only about $12,000. And we will be billing at the first of the month again, and we can pay our bond payment after the first of the month. It's due on the 31st. But that's what we've done in prior years. This would be comparable to what we've done in prior years, and it does fly. So it'll pretty much keep that district viable. There's a problem with revenue in that district. We budgeted $16,000 revenue from Verizon for rental on the tower. And we received a check made out to the village of Morristown in midsummer. In prior years, we've deposited that in the town account and it's been cashed. This year, the bank wouldn't clear it because it's not made out to the town. So we sent it back and we have not been able to successfully get a second check. And we are taking steps to resolve that. We anticipate that it'll be resolved, but I find myself wondering who has a key to the water tower and whether there's a separate power switch for that Verizon transmitter, because I think that might get their attention.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I wouldn't act without board discussion with the board, but anyway, we've got, somehow or other, we've got to get that check reissued.
What you do is, I think what you do is you contact and say, the clock is ticking, we are going to shut it off on this date, we don't have a check.
I'm sure they have their own separate meter. I would think.
And generator.
Yeah, generator. Yeah, a generator problem. But that'll run out of fuel eventually.
Change the lock on the door. So, I don't need to carry this.
How long you been battling since July?
It could be August, but that's the right area. Absolutely. Now, we are nevertheless going to have a rate change for the water department for next year. And that'll help build our reconciliation or build our reserve for the water fund. We have one other problem that I want you to know about. The bank reconciliation matches the amount in the bank account with the amount on these statements. And it's off by about $500. And Judy Wright has invested hours and hours and hours trying to find that money. And at this point, I think that there is still a likelihood that we will, but we've got a discrepancy. This is the kind of a thing that is worrisome, but I don't think is terribly important. Now, if this were a private business and I were the manager, I'd put a plug in for $500 and I'd say, damn, can't do that again. And I wouldn't worry about it. But I think with municipal money, we really need to chase this and chase this and chase this. But I would tell you that we have done a great deal of searching. And we're at the point where this problem came up in connection with not being able to make the bank reconciliation module on the current software, which we started with in January, not being able to make that module work. So we still have the license from the prior software company. We bought it. So we're planning that on January 1st, we're going back to the old software that has a good module for reconciling bank statements. I mean, it's that become that frustrating with the staff and so forth that they've decided that they'd rather transfer data again back into a different software system and start over again. If you wanted us to take any other action right now, that would be fine. Otherwise, it seems to me appropriate that perhaps Frank and I look into this and try to figure out what we can do to get that resolved.
In a perfect world, the two programs have a lot of pluses to them and they both have negatives to them. If they were married, they would be perfect.
No. Any other questions, gentlemen? We're gonna end up increasing our fund balance at the end of 2023. So in that sense, it's a good year. It's all confused by the costs for repairing the town barn and the insurance settlement. And it is my understanding that we just have to build that building and finish that work. Because we have the wherewithal to do it. And I think we're really prudent about what we're doing. And then we'll be able to report on where we stand at that point.
The weather is obviously overall it's been on our side. And I think the last thing that they were doing when I talked with Dean was they were pouring the aprons out front. I don't know whether that's been a few days since I've been up there, whether that's.
One day out back, Friday and Monday.
They were cleaning up front today, so I think they're getting ready to get that.
All right, thank you, Chris. As stated here on the agenda, the monthly report from Dank is not available yet, so I would say if it comes in, Jill can always email it to each.
It usually comes in the day after the meeting.
With that, we will move into new business, and we have those budget modifications that Chris was alluding to, or maybe he wasn't even alluding to it. So they are right here. You should have a copy in their folder. You want to review them, and then I think what we've done now is we do it with one motion for all the mods. You looked at it, and then if someone wants to jump in with a motion, we'll be doing that.
I'll put the motion forward that we approve the general fund, sewer fund, and water highway modification that's presented.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please, Joe.
Gary,
Aye.
David, Sean.
Aye.
Chris,
Aye.
Frank,
Aye. The motion passes unanimously. Your second item on the new business is, I would like before to revisit the possibility of selling the rest of that as one parcel. The rest of that, which is just basically hunting ground. It's the rest of the McDonald property. It would lay beyond west of the river, or the road that goes, the Bay Street.
Talking about sure.
All behind that
Well,
lot.
it was, yeah, it was.
I think it's about 100 acres. roughly.
Yeah, and it runs out to 12.
The town owns it?
Mhm. So we inherited that from the village because they bought it all.
Okay.
So I'm interested in what the board would like to do.
I thought we were gonna get it appraised already. A while ago.
No, we did not move ahead with that.
Okay.
We talked about, at one point, we talked about having it surveyed and offering in two pieces, but let's just keep it simple and offer it as one.
I've had a couple people ask me about it, and it's been the whole parcel, not part, not split,
Yeah. So I would, I would like to investigate, getting it, getting the value on it, and I would like to look to someone else. I was a little puzzled by some of the prices that were suggested for some of the other parts. So, if it's fine with the rest of the board, we'll proceed with that, and I will investigate who we can get to do the appraisal. All right. We need to find we have a vacancy. I think it's happened now. I think he resigned. The zoning board member, and we'd entertain any of, we appreciate your input on possible candidates. The rest of the board, you want to contact me if names come up in your mind, or you're chatting with anybody you thought you think would make a good member for that board. Okay. Now, item number 4 is it in our packet?
Yeah.
Has to do with, this just came in today on the fax from Dan Moyer. And this, this is an item that is not, we've not, an item of a expense that, or proposed charge that we've had before. So if you want to take a minute to read it.
Hasn't he always billed us when he housed dogs?
It's been an on-bill as needed.
Right.
Yep, that's what Judy said.
And so does this do anything other than set the rate?
It sets the amount.
I know.
Thank you. Happy holidays. But I obviously was not going to sign this until the board had opportunity to do it. I don't know that we have a lot of choice.
We have to. Yeah, we have first after.
Yeah.
So how much would-
$750.
Is this something else above the lease?
We put in a bunch of news that's coming, didn't we? Something?
No, we didn't.
No.
He wanted us to pay money to upgrade his facility.
Which we did.
Hmm.
That was another year.
We didn't.
No, and you
Yeah,
tabled
we
it.
didn't have any money.
So this is probably,
Cause we didn't know what he was spending, remember?
Right.
We wanted some more information and then now.
I don't know whether this is a different charge. We've always been paying him something, and
this
so
is, yeah.
We
This
paid
is a-
$6,000.
this is a different
$6,000?
Yeah, this is different. This is not his usual service fee for his work. What is it?
could we get him to explain what the current rates or what the 2023 rates are versus what total of what he's proposing for 2024?
I'm not sure I'm following you.
I'm trying to compare the current rates being total of his proposal.
Well, it'd be what you.
It was my understanding from Judy that there's never been a lease or service agreement. He just bills as,
Well, I'm pretty sure we
Cases
paid
come up.
$5,000 a year.
so it's pretty much he is salaried.
Yeah.
And that's the payment that he has been receiving.
Slowly paid.
But this is, but you won't, it won't break anything down in there.
We were not able to find any
Dog-
kind of lease agreements or
control.
anything.
Dog control, we paid him $51.75 in the budget. And $1,000 for expenses. Right there.
But this would be, this
On top of that,
this would be additional. But I don't. What's your alternative?
yeah, well, that's for every animal. You read that, right? That's for every animal taken in.
Yeah.
Is that on top of the 5175 we're paying?
Yes. Because the other one, you know, was a case by case, so that was always.
So we're gonna pay them 5175, right?
Mhm.
Then for every animal, we're gonna charge it $750.
No, not.
For board and keep.
For all animals accepted at the facility.
Total, it's a total instead of a.
That's what I did.
Generation of services provided town. So excuse me, town.
See, lease space. It's the $750 is for the leasing the space and maintaining the shelter. In the board.
Dangerous dogs are $20 per day. You pay by the town, be increasing on these sorts of quite a bit of housing such stuff.
My thing is, I've never seen a darn thing. You know, I realize we were kind of tired, but we've never had a report of anything.
Never seen him at all.
Never seen him at all, never had, I know we've asked for reports of what he's taken in, we've never had a report. You know, we don't know if he's taken in 20 dogs or 50 dogs, or. If you take in 20 dogs, that's 14 grand. We gotta pay him.
No, this is a blanket amount.
That's a blanket
for
amount?
one use, yes, the one time. Instead
Provide
of,
lease space and maintain a pound shelter for seized dogs, we provide careful animals accepted at the facility. The board keep for any mandated period.
yeah, what it looks, the
The only thing we could be to do is $20 per day for a dangerous dog.
I would feel more comfortable if you just reach out and make sure that's not for every animal. I don't see anywhere where it really says
okay, what
it's just one dog. Or a blanket for every dog or animal.
for board and keep.
Right, it doesn't say for,
Shall not include the cost, yeah. All right, well, we can certainly do that. So
is that a blanket or is that for every animal? You know, I think,
I took it was a blanket amount, but let's get it,
yeah,
let's get it done. All right. We've got a little time. Let's put 20.
yeah, I mean, right, I don't.
Down here, you know, it's definitely right.
No, it'd be easy to clean that up for
Yeah, a
a
blanket
couple more
policy or,
words,
right.
the end of it.
What if we have our lawyer put this in more ironclad form and then ask him to sign it?
This is all pretty open to me, I think.
What do you want to do? I'd like something that would, I want a lawyer to, I want him to read it over and I want him to make up an agreement that we wouldn't be any surprises for us. Okay, that's why we have him on board, is for our legal. Is everybody good with that idea? Okay, I'll first respond to Daniel and tell him that we are having there's a few things that are confusing in here and we're going to have our lawyer put together so what we see is reflected in here if we're going to sign it. Everybody good with that? Okay. Okay, we're ready for department reports.
I got one on the, I just read it.
No,
Yeah. Yo, did we ever do anything with street lights on Main Street? Did we ever submit them?
I have not done anything like that.
Okay.
What do we need to do?
That and over on the town barn corner, I'd like to put like 4 lights on there, this dark there, you go on that corner at night. I think that will help their safety in that corner.
Dean hasn't submitted anything, has he?
No, I wanna do that. I thought this would be the time.
What side are you looking for the one?
It'd be on the opposite side of the road with the pole bar, just so when people come around that corner, the lots right there. They do have one light on the building, unless they're gonna have more lights to lighten it up.
As opposed to like those reflecting windows.
No, just the, so if they're out there at night working, you know,
Oh,
3 lights, I'm sorry. But 2 or 3 around that corner, coming up to the
I
building.
think there's no lights going in the building, right? Each door, each.
As long as
door
as long as they're gonna be lit up enough, that's all.
right, that's discussion with you. Okay,
With motor traffic lights,
no,
haven't heard anything.
not even a response each time.
You're not gonna see it.
They're being tell you're hearing it.
They just denied them all 3 at that busy intersection.
Oh, really?
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
Where were you?
There was supposed to be some accidents there. Yeah. Where that diner is in the Dollar General.
I hate that intersection.
That's, better pay attention there.
Yeah.
When you want to talk about our assessor in executive session?
That's what we do, yes, okay, and I prefer you haven't said. Name.
Okay.
We already know.
Okay, well, let's do this, let's get these department reports,
Well, I went to the county's Town Clerks Association meeting on Thursday. And they are informing us that New York State decals program is going to be changing again. They can't get the velour tags for the hunting license and stuff. They can't get that material anymore, so they're going to a different form. So I'm sure there will probably be some type of an expense for an upgrade. For a new machine, they don't know what they're going to do yet, but that's just a heads up.
well, there's such a profit in it for the.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's something to think about. That's
Anything
the
else?
big news I have.
Okay. And Dean's not with us for a highway. Unless he has a friendly, there's you,
No.
No.
no, all right. Code enforcement officer, you have the floor.
Thank you. Kind of slowing down now in the office, it's okay. I included the last 2 months because I wasn't here last week. So, 13 permits, a little over $300,000 in improvements. Going along on the new homes and moving through, I will have, a year-end report for you next month. I do think the 2023 was a good year. I think we exceeded any prior years, especially for new housing starts. Other than that, I don't have nothing for you for the cases of the garbage that we're dealing with Andy, other than he's said, keeps telling us that he's moving forward with them, but the Supreme Court judge has asked him to tidy up a couple things, in the language, I guess, for them to, for her to make a decision on it, which I think she's looking, she was looking very, I think she's looking favorably on this. Maybe removing the fines, but, putting the fines in with no compliance. She's comfortable with moving forward with it, but leaving the fine portion of it if there's no compliance to the local jurisdiction, which would be jail. So, we just have to see how it shakes out in the end, but it's dragged on a long time, and I wish it wouldn't have, but, especially now that we're coming into the winter, because it's gonna get harder for people to clean things up. They're gonna use the excuse of the frozen in type things, but, it is what it is, I guess. So, I'd like to see it come to an end. In my tenure.
That's why you gotta stay longer than.
What's the deal, I don't wanna pick on her, but Sheila Hollis,
Well, we did make, I mean, as you know, we made some movement. I made some movement with
I
her.
like her a lot, but I just think it's the weird her.
She is ridiculous and it's a very hard woman to deal with.
Oh, I know.
I mean, she did take the roof portion off that was caving in and created like a second story balcony, which appears to be dried in. She's been working on the back portion of the house to get the roof, some metal panels. She took some of the porches off that were falling in. But there's still a lot of garbage,
No, I know.
a lot of garbage around.
Yeah,
And
shameful.
Where is it?
It's like right across from where used to be Fisherman's Lane and,
on the sixth, so
not down very far,
yeah.
but it's.
I mean, if this new law comes into effect that Andy's working on, that allows us to go in and do some cleanup. You know, might be able to get her attention that way too, if it's a mandatory cleanup. But you know, the one thing that I know our budgets, you just approved everything, but the interesting part with the cleanup, if we go in and clean up, is we have to pay the vendor and then collect the fee or collect the you know, from the homeowner. So I know when we did Ogdensburg, when we started the program in Ogdensburg, we budgeted 10,000. And I would use it every year. And actually, when I left, it was up to 20. So
It was up to
20,000. Yeah. Andy's working on it. He was gonna be creating an ordinance for us to present. But I really do think that that's the only way we're gonna ever get some movement on these places that are chronic. You know, you know, I can attest that it works. When you go in and clean them up and send somebody a bill for $1,000,
Yeah,
it spreads like wildfire. And people will all of a sudden pay a little more attention to the notices they get. So it's frustrating for the enforcement part because we don't seem to get a lot of
yeah,
compliance.
I was hopeful when you'd mentioned, we talked a few months ago when somebody inquired about the old credit packing company for it.
Yeah. That'd be for metals.
Right, but hey, there's a lot of those vehicles.
Oh,
parked
yeah, I
around.
mean, my lord, yeah.
They would, you know, some people could turn it into money for more.
Mhm. Yeah,
All right, thank you. Any other questions for Greg? If not, in your packet is a report from our town historian. He's been doing a magnificent job. And took the town more on herself to do some more physical work there. And helped by her sister over here.
I didn't do much.
But anyways, I was up there even today. I thought it was a squirrel up in the attic, but I went up and it was her. She was working in there. And
It looks a lot better.
it's so organized now.
Yeah, I just made 2 legs. That's all I did.
And I said to her, well, now you tell me I could have used 1, 2 years ago. I told her, you know, she's hard on herself for what she what she wants to do and what she feels she's getting done. But I said to her early on, I said to her, just take a deep breath. There's no deadlines on any of this stuff you're doing. And then I said to her today, look around and see how much you've accomplished in this little less than a year you've been at it. And maybe
You know who you're talking to, right? We don't have a lot of stations.
So anyways, if she's there, I'd recommend you,
sometimes
sometimes
it smells better on that side of it.
go up there. Well, there was stuff up on over there in that little crawl space.
That carpet.
That carpet.
Oh, yeah, that was bad. So yours is next, yours is next, but you're gonna sell your carpet.
Yeah.
What's going on? How you been?
Retro.
Okay,
Anybody look at that building? Did anybody look at that yet?
No, me and I have talked about it, but, we were so. Do it when you get free up a couple of guys and we. Very good, I'm ready, anytime you want.
all right, yeah, with that, motion to go into executive session. Yeah, to, discuss.
No.
Oh, well. No, thanks.
On Monday and Thursday.
Gary?
No.
You know, I do go up the field, I understand, you wanna come up.
Thank you for joining us.
You know, usually I try to stay until about 10 o'clock, you know, go out. You wanna catch me better than one of you?
Okay, all right.
Night.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Yep, same to you.
Are you there?
I'm get out of here.
You know, you're leaving, so. You're not.